3 seconds. That was all it took for the world to realize something extraordinary was happening. A camera turned on. A leader stood still. No suit of armor. No dramatic backdrop. Just a human being looking directly into the lens and saying, in effect, I am here. I will not run. In those 3 seconds, courage stopped being an abstract idea and became something the entire world could see, hear, and feel. When crisis erupted, it didn't announce itself politely. It arrived with explosions, uncertainty, and fear so thick it seemed to choke the air. Streets that once carried laughter fell silent. Families clung to each other, wondering what tomorrow would bring. The kind of fear that makes people freeze settled over nation. And in that moment, the world expected leaders to disappear, to relocate, to protect themselves first. History had trained us to expect that. But this leader made a different choice. Instead of retreating, he stayed. Instead of hiding, he showed his face. Instead of speaking in distant, polished statements, he spoke plainly, honestly, and often. He didn't promise an easy victory. He didn't deny the danger. He acknowledged the fear because he felt it too. And that honesty became the foundation of trust. Courage does not mean pretending you are not afraid. Courage means standing anyway. It means saying, yes, this is terrifying, but I will not abandon my responsibility. Every message he delivered carried that truth. He spoke to his people not as someone above them, but as someone among them. I am here with you. Those words mattered more than any weapon. The enemy expected surrender. The world expected collapse. What they witnessed instead was resolve. A leader who understood that symbols matter. That presence matters. That when people see their leader standing firm, they discover strength within themselves they didn't know they had. Each day the crisis continued. The pressure intensified. The risks grew larger. The personal cost became heavier. Yet each day, he showed up again. Same place, same resolve, same courage. That repetition was powerful. It told the people, if I can stand today, you can stand today too. And suddenly, courage became collective. Teachers became volunteers. Neighbors became protectors. Ordinary citizens became extraordinary examples of resilience. Not because they were fearless, but because they were inspired. Courage multiplied, person by person, choice by choice. The world watched in real time as leadership redefined itself. This wasn't leadership built on force or intimidation. This was leadership built on conviction, on values, on moral clarity. He showed that the true strength of a leader is not measured by how loudly they speak, but by how firmly they stand when silence would be safer. He reminded us that courage is not a speech you give once. It is a decision you make every single day. When exhaustion sets in, when hope feels fragile, when the outcome is uncertain, courage says, I will continue. And that consistency became a lesson to leaders everywhere. Beyond borders, people felt it. Millions who had never heard his name before now leaned closer to their screens. They saw a reflection of something humanity desperately needed, proof that integrity still exists, that bravery is possible. That one person's decision to stand can influence the conscience of the world. This leader did not just defend land. He defended an idea, the idea that freedom is worth protecting, that dignity is non-negotiable, and that fear should never be the final authority. He demonstrated that courage does not eliminate suffering, but it gives suffering meaning. It transforms pain into purpose. And perhaps the most powerful lesson he taught was this: you don't need to be perfect to be brave. You don't need to be fearless to lead. You need conviction. You need responsibility. You need the willingness to say, if this is my moment, I will not step aside. Think about how easy it would have been to leave, how justified it might have seemed, how many would have understood, and yet, staying changed everything. Staying sent a message louder than words ever could. Staying told the people, you are not alone, and that message echoed across the world. In times of crisis, people don't look for heroes who feel nothing. They look for leaders who feel everything and still act, who acknowledge the darkness and choose light anyway, who stand in uncertainty and refuse to shrink. This story is not just about one leader or one nation. It is about every moment in life when pressure demands a response, when fear asks you to retreat, when responsibility asks you to rise. Courage does not belong only to presidents or generals. Courage belongs to anyone willing to act with integrity when it matters most. In your own life, you may not face armies or global headlines, but you face moments of crisis too. Moments where fear whispers excuses. Moments where standing feels risky. Moments where silence feels easier than truth. And in those moments, this lesson applies. Courage begins the instant you decide not to run. Leadership starts there. Influence starts there. Change starts there. You don't have to wait for permission to be brave. You don't need perfect conditions. Courage is not something you find, it's something you choose. Again and again. Even when your voice shakes. Even when the outcome isn't clear. Even when the cost feels heavy. The world learned that courage can come from unexpected places, spoken in simple words, shown through presence rather than power. And once you see that, you can never unsee it. You realize that bravery is possible for you too. So let this story remind you, when crisis comes, be the one who stays. Be the one who stands. Be the one who turns fear into resolve and uncertainty into action. Because courage is not just admired, it is needed. And the world always remembers those who choose it. If this story inspired you, strengthened you, or reminded you of what real courage looks like, take a moment to like this video. Share it with someone who needs strength today, and subscribe to this channel for more stories that awaken courage, leadership, and purpose. Because when we share these stories, we keep courage alive, and the world needs it now more than ever.